Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Before we get started today, again, I wanted to thank everyone that offered comments on Friday's video. You all had some really good ideas that I'm going to be addressing. Probably not this video, because a lot of them have to do with what we do after this season, namely the fate of Juan Soto and Noah Smith. But there is one thing that I wanted to discuss that's always been a mental block for me. Let me explain. If you lose a player in Major League Baseball and you don't trade them, or you don't get like a draft pick or something, for me, I'm constantly thinking I got nothing for them. But that's not true. Because you get something that's incredibly important for a team like the Pirates. The salary. Think about that. You're not losing, say, Juan Soto. You're gaining $44 million. And in my brain, I always like to keep my teams together. But sometimes I think I need to be a little bit more willing to just let them go, even if I don't trade them, just for the sakes of saving some cash. So that's something that I'm going to try to be better about, and maybe it's something that'll help you when designing your own teams and playing by yourself. Alright, so I'm putting out that Jamie Vaughn is fragile, which is an entirely reasonable thing to say. He's also making the Major League minimum and won't be eligible for arbitration for a while yet. So, we've got time. I'm not too concerned about what happened. The other thing I wanted to point out is someone had mentioned Edgar Guzman, for example, as me saying, gosh, I sure hate having players that don't hit for power. And Guzman definitely doesn't hit for power, except for gap power. I'm hoping we'll get a good contact hitter that can someday maybe be a leadoff guy, which would then let me kick someone like Cole Young down the lineup where we can take advantage of his superior power. But we're going to have to see how much of a role Guzman even gets. It may not be a very big one. Because I definitely want to give Jamie Vaughn, at least in the early days here, a chance. Because he is a good power hitter with good contact and could be a great addition to the team. With that said, let us get started. Excellent. Caleb Dimutzio has been added to our team. I'm going to send Mina to the minors and then call up Dimutzio. And what this does is it gives me yet one more option to play right field. And again, I'm going to give Vaughn a chance to earn the job himself, but I might platoon them. I think I will platoon them, actually. No, that's not smart. What I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to play Dimutzio as a backup to both left and right field, and I'm going to make sure that Dimutzio gets to start once a week. And then Guzman goes there. And he's also going to be my number one pinch hitter. In terms of... here we go. Who's my fastest? Anderson wouldn't be a terrible pinch runner. Dimutzio's not terrible at it. But I think it goes like this. And then Dimutzio. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and copy these both over and paste them both. We are missing our captain if we demote Mina. But that's not the end of the world, and we can see what happens as the game progresses. Excellent. A bunch of people have cleared waivers, which means I can safely send them to AAA. I'm going to take you all off waivers now. And on we go. All right, Mr. Molly here is going to be missing 6 weeks. I can't say I like that. I can't say that I approve at all. But I can very easily slot Ian Anderson in as our 4th starter, and then we just call up another pitcher. Probably Sanchez here. He's not a great starter, but I think he's a good long man. And we can do long relief, middle relief. We have finished month 1. Some good things happening in different places here. This kid is going places. That guy is pretty decent, actually. Yeah, okay. What's been going well so far? Simpson has been about what we expected. Vaughn has been awful. Just unrepentantly terrible. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on changing his spot yet, but I'm pretty close. Other than that, though, it seems like we've got a very solid top to bottom lineup. We've got an okay rotation and an excellent bullpen. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things look so far. Our defense is a bit lacking. Where's the issue? Out of curiosity. I'm not going to make any changes. Remember my rule, I never change anything the first month of the season. Where is our defense falling short? Give me real fielding stats. Here we go. Soto, Young, Vaughn, and Gunnels are all actually not performing at their very best. I think that'll get fine. That'll be better over time. I'm not going to make any drastic changes yet. So yeah. Let's do another month of play and see how things are working out then. Okay, we lose Will Simpson for 3 weeks. Which means it's time for the triumphant return of John Nelson. And we're just going to instantly slot Nelson in. Although Nelson won't be there forever. So far, though, until his injury, He's been having a pretty great rookie season. He's definitely got the power that we've been lacking. So I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, we can have Mr. Molly come back. Somebody made a comment about rehab assignments. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think rehab assignments are that great. They're basically a way to buy you a roster spot when you need it, but I've never seen any evidence that they actually improve your likelihood of a player not getting hurt again. But Ian Anderson's been a really good starter. I don't actually have a starter that I'd want. There's going to come a time where Anderson's going to fall flat. And I don't really need that. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to send down Williams. And so you're going to go to the minors. Up for Male. And then we go boop. 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 And we're done. Okay. All right. You've had over 100 at-bats. And you're hitting really bad in a number of ways. But look at his on-base percentage and look in particular at his isolated slugging percentage. If he'd been making better contact, I think he would be keeping his spot. And we're doing okay. Young is getting on base, right? Yeah, Young is doing okay. Not great, though. Young definitely would have taken a step back. Gunnels could be doing better, too. Kind of the team as a whole isn't hitting as well as it could be, with the exception, again, of Noah Smith, who seems to have puzzled out that as long as he keeps hitting, I have to pay him. I'm not going to mess with anything right now. I want to give them more of a chance to earn some at-bats and just see how things turn out. Okay. No. Not objecting to trading Montesino, but this is kind of garbage here. That's a pretty bad return, all things considered. Okay, we get Simpson back. Nelson has actually been kind of okay, but he's not kind of okay enough to take Simpson's job, which is Heart of the Order masterpiece. All right. Let's just sim one day. And then we'll take a look here. Aguilar is getting better. All right. Look who's finally heating up. That's pretty great. Not gonna lie, Chief. Okay. First of all, holy shit, Noah Smith. I don't know exactly where to put you. Yes, I do. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Noah Smith, you're my new leadoff hitter, and Cole Young, you're gonna hit 5th. Okay, second, Vaughn. Almost 200 at bats. You're not hitting well enough. Dimutzio's doing great off the bench. Demoted. Does he have a hole in his swing? He does. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to let Vaughn keep hitting against righties. But yeah, Dimutzio is going to be hitting against lefties. Or other way around. You knew what I meant. I'm also hoping that bumping Cole Young down in the lineup will let him take advantage of his pretty good power and clean up whatever Simpson leaves left on the table. So that's going to be exciting. How's the pitching staff doing? Molly just isn't pitching that well. He's only managing 3 innings a start. What is your deal, bro? Yeah, man. He's really struggling this season. And Anderson was actually pitching pretty effectively. Like, really effectively. For now, I'm just going to swap Edwards and Molly in the order and see what that gets us. But I am distantly concerned about that. It is important to note, obviously, that our salary is about to skyrocket in a lot of places, so we're going to have some hard decisions to make. We'll see what happens. We'll wait till the end of the season to make some of these decisions. Where's Noah Smith? Here he is. Man, Noah Smith hitting a batting title right now is great for the team, but it's going to be bad for our bottom line. He's going to want to get paid, y'all. Oh, boy. No. Anyone else who wants Mike Jewett can have him. Okay, onward we go. Shock of all shocks, he cleared waivers. Because he sucks now. Keep going. It seems like we're still struggling to score runs regularly. Like, I know I'm complaining, right? I'm like the 3rd or 4th best team in the majors, but still. That's a lot of games where we're only scoring 1 or 2 runs. And that ain't gonna cut it, mi amigos. Edwards is getting better. Maldonado's really starting to slip. That's going to be an important thing to watch out for. Cole Young is doing well. Okay. Damn, son, look at Omar Guajardo. I like it. Ben Manning just added a bunch of heat to his fastball. That's a good sign. Okay. So Will Simpson's doing his job. It's not Simpson that's the issue. Gunnels could be better, but he's not the worst. I don't mind where he's at. Yeah, Will Simpson, my dude, you're basically doing what I want you to do. I'd love for you to hit for a higher average, but your isolated slugging percentages is almost 250, and that's what we've been looking for. Young is doing well. I can probably bump Dimutzio up in the lineup. How is Vaughn doing now that he's not facing lefties? It looks like this is starting to get a little bit better. And let's quickly check his splits. Really? The thing you're supposed to be good at, hitting left-handed pitching, is what you're the worst at. Really? I don't get it, dude. I don't get it at all. Right. Pitching looks decent. Defense is still an issue. Let's see what the issue is. It's Vaughn. I'm going to be honest. Vaughn, you are very quickly reaching the point where I don't want you anymore. But I also don't really have a quality outfielder to replace you with. You know what I'm going to do? It's going to solve both issues, I think. Oh, really? Oh, you're a lefty. I see. I'm just gonna sit tight and see how the rest of this season goes before I make any drastic moves. Zion Rose, I don't know what to do about you. I really don't. Like, when you're slugging 400, I can forgive your terrible rest of your offensive skill set. When you're not, that's a harder sell for me. That's interesting. Because of our new scout rankings, I see players that look interesting. How much money does this guy want? I can literally not offer him that much. Because I can only spend $3 million. I'll offer him $2 million and see. See if that's good enough. And sign with the Phillies. I don't even care. Play for the inferior Pennsylvania team. Alright. Let's do some real quick personnel decisions here. Alright, so it's 2030. My contract is up. That's arguably the most important contract. But I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get re-signed anyway. Ray King. He's legendary at development, good for mechanics and aging, outstanding at teaching pitching. I'm going to keep him. I see nothing that would convince me not to. Justin Green is just a great all-around teacher. And I think he can stick around as our bench coach. Okay. Buck Britton is pretty solid. And I'm going to go ahead and give him a new deal. Drew Bennis is not very good. He's not the worst. Our big problem is always going to be I'm not going to be able to promote my lower minor league guys. Because for whatever reason they don't want to be promoted. But I'm sure we could do better than that at AA. I'm gonna let you walk. Cruz and Pello can both have extensions. You both seem like pretty good folks. Hooper, you're incredibly talented, and I want to keep you in system for when people retire / leave. And I'll also keep Borges. Or Borges, or Borges. Perez, I'm going to keep you around because you're so young. And Mr. Bruno here, you're not that great at it, to be honest. So I think I'm going to let you leave. All right, on to the draft. All right. We're going to be picking 28th. Yikes. So I'm not going to count on getting Ricky Burrito. Let's see who's left. Okay. I do want some decent young outfielders so that we've got a chance to start building up in that particular aspect of the game. Let's look at J.J. Matos first, though. Good stamina. Really good 3-pitch mix. But his raw ratings are not that great. And he's playing at a crappy college, too. Pete Richards. Good all-around power bat. But again, not playing for a great college. I like to see success against good competition. Oh dear. You're an interesting pitcher, aren't you? You're 100 plus. Although, check out the stamina. I don't think I'd trust him as a starter. But as a reliever? I'm going to flag you, Mr. Decker, and I'm going to see if you fall to me in the second round. If you don't, you don't. Bobby Velasquez looks like an excellent all-around hitter. I do like that. Oh, dang. I really like Mike Eppers. I like his skill set. I like how hardworking he is. And he's also super young. And he's from Akron. Not far from where I grew up. He's raw as shit. But because of his all-around brilliant personality set, I think he's got a chance to really capitalize on his advantages. And maybe improve his plate discipline, which is the only real hole in his game. And I do just want more raw offensive talent, so I'm going to go ahead and draft Mike Eppers. Oh man, that guy left. Okay. A guy like J.J. Matos in the second round is a little bit more intriguing. Yeah, we're going to draft him. Look, if Pete Richards just keeps slipping, I'm going to have to take him at some point. I think a third round pick for him is very worthwhile. What is your major malfunction, Jim Hartman? You're smart. You've got experience all over the diamond, but you might not be a great hitter. For a fourth round pick, that's pretty reasonable, actually. And then we're kind of at the point in the draft already where it looks like this is a very, very, it's a very average draft. Is there any secret megastars in power? Okay, Chris Messer. Why are you a crappy starting pitcher? Yeah, Mr. Messer, I'm going to take you now, and I'm going to turn you into an outfielder. Okay. Nope. I'll take Tim Thompson for free. I'll take Jim Evans for free. I'm not going to sign you for a bonus, that's for damn sure. Otherwise, I'd consider it. Yeah, we're at the part of the draft where I'm just not that enthused by any of these guys. I'm going to take a chance on Leo Burrito because he is very hardworking and very adaptable. He's got a cannon for an arm. I'd like to just take him and see how he develops over time. And I'm at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and let my scout pick whoever he likes. I got who I wanted. They're also all way under slot, so that'll save me money, which is always good to hear. Now, it's of course important to recall that all of these players have flaws in one way or another. Eppers is very reliant on his contact developing or discipline developing because he's going to be a big swing and miss kind of guy. And not that I mind too terribly much about that because he's very, very young. I'm just going to shortlist all my top 5 picks. But yeah, each of these players has flaws, but that's what you're going to run into picking that late in the draft. There's not really a way around that. I mean, I don't like losing Oscar Sanchez, but if I had to lose someone, I'd rather lose him. Who would I most like to call up to the majors at this point? What role do I need filled in the rotation? I really just need another arm. I need another middle reliever. No, I could use a long man. I guess we can let Williams be the long man again. Man, I really don't know why I keep letting you pitch so much when you're not that great, but oh well. He's also a 15th round draft pick, so to be in the majors as long as he has been is pretty impressive, all things considered. I mean, yeah, you get your occasional Mike Piazza drafted in the 62nd round and becomes a Hall of Famer, but it was 62nd or 61st? I don't remember. But yeah, that's not a common thing. I don't want Ty Adcock. Why would I give you any of that stuff? All right. Pittsburgh, Ian Anderson, Willie Acevedo, Mr. Juan Soto. That's it. That appears to be it. Okay. Oh, and Garrett Gunnels made it. Damn. What's supposed to be a weak year for third base? Yeah, Gunnels as a starter, Soto, Acevedo, and Anderson. Prospects, Ramon Gonzalez, and that's it. Okay. All right, Tampa. You're offering me a bad reliever. No. I categorically refuse. I can't give up Goudry. He's too important for the team. But I would give you... I'm not going to give you Gonzalez. What the hell? No. You almost tricked me, Chicago. Well done. But no. Okay. I would like... to start thinking about who we might want to trade this season. Now, let's keep in mind a couple of very critical things here. We're winning. So I don't want to trade anyone who's a meaningful contributor right now. That's important. Okay. Uribe hasn't been exceptional, and we're going to lose him at the end of the season anyway. I wonder what the market is for him. But you know what? No. He's an important contributor. Now, Ian Anderson, on the other hand. Or did I make you a starter again? No, I didn't. I probably should. I probably should. Oh dear. We'll talk later, okay? Man. Y'all are about to get expensive. You're about to get real expensive. Is there anybody at all that I would like to trade? Right now. And I think the bold-faced answer to that question is no. I don't really see any real benefit to doing that. Now, there is something that might happen with Maldonado. Is there any chance he might actually be a free agent? No. Okay. So I can't lose Maldonado. That's good. All right. I think we need to change about the lineup. Not really. Um... Our defense just keeps getting worse. That's unfortunate. I don't really have an easy way to fix the defense, though, is the problem. I just don't. Because, like, Gunnels is an issue. But he's not that big an issue. He's only cost us about a run over the course of the season. Soto. Yeah, he's had better days defensively, but I'm not about to bench him. Yeah. Boy, Cole Young. Man, I don't know what to do about Cole Young. We have to think about trading him in the offseason. But I'm not going to do it now. Not when I still am in the driver's seat for a playoff spot. I don't want to break up the team chemistry right now. How is the team chemistry, by the way? It's fantastic. Great. Zion Rose is fine, I guess. So you're not going to trade anyone at the deadline this season. You know, in retrospect, I probably could have acquired, say, a new catcher, but probably not a very good one. So, whatever. Oh, damn, son, you're a good defensive catcher. Oh, John Nelson. I was actually thinking about wanting to trade him. I've probably cost John Nelson so many millions that he probably hates my face now. Because he's only going to get the major league minimum. But whatever. Okay, that's kind of a dick move, game. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like that. I guess Mina is going to fill in left field until Soto is back. I guess I'm going to have Young hit third. Dimutzio there. Then Mina plays left. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Young bats third. Vaughn bats fifth. Friends, Vaughn is not really getting any better. I don't know what to do about him. Yeah, you need to stop getting injured, bro. You're really inconveniencing me. Alright, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to give Guofeng Tian a chance. If I had to pick. Or do we call up Albring? No, Albring needs more reps in AAA, I think. I'm going to call up Gonzalez instead. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then you're going to be middle relief, and Ian Anderson's going to be the new 5th starter. And I'm going to do Nate Hyde as used less often, but also make him a long reliever. That'll be good. Well, that's bullshit. I literally just call him up to the majors and he gets hurt. Come on, you dick. Okay. You know what? Joey Burdette, you can be called up and be middle reliever. I would say I thought I thought the other guy got it. My Aguilar. Okay. Joey Burdette just randomly starts throwing harder. That's pretty crazy. Okay. Oh, Ian Anderson would like to come back. Yeah. No. That's not happening, my dude. So here's what I'm thinking. John Nelson can't play the outfield, can he? Nope. Okay. That's fine. How long until Soto comes back? He's got a week. Okay. And I think I want to keep Mina on the roster as an extra outfielder, so Soto's going to get one of these two spots. The question is who gets spot 28. And I'd kind of like to audition a new starter. It's going to be Tian, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm picking him over Albring. I'm going to lose him in the Rule 5 if I don't put him on the roster, and I definitely want to give him a chance to pitch in the majors. And we're going to do emergency long relief. Williams, don't come in if the game's important. I'm not saying that I don't trust you, but I don't trust you. And then we're going to go ahead and sim ahead. Really, game? Really? I'm so tired of is not healing as fast as expected. Like, come on, dude. A fucking playoff spot is on the line. Nate Hyde, I'm going to herniate your face. And see how you like that. Carl Brown, welcome to the Major Leagues. I can't rush Soto back. So we're just going to keep going and hope that he is healthy soon. Thank you for telling me that these random jerks are retiring. Right now is not the time to interrupt the sim. Thank goodness. Okay. So Soto races to the rescue. Young, you did well. We're going to do this and this. We're going to do this and this. I'm going to bump Cole Young back up to lead off because Noah Smith has started to cool off. And we're going to do that. There we go. Perfect. Yes, keep hitting poorly, Noah Smith. Command less in arbitration. I dare you. Okay. I want to start seeing some real big wins now, please. By Pittsburgh, I should have clarified. Great job, Jim Jacob. I don't even know who you are. Oh. I apparently drafted you last season. I forgot about that. I don't really care. I'm just going to go ahead and send you to the minors. Also, Pittsburgh, this is a shitty-ass time to go into a funk. This really needs to stop. We should be winning more, not less. If I lose another division title because we just stop playing toward the end of the season, I'm going to be real pissed. Not like real pissed. But pretty irritated. Alright. I want you to see this team that we're playing next. It's called the Cincinnati Reds. I want to utterly destroy them in every game. So, get on that. That is not utterly destroying them. That is losing. I don't care about back tightness for a backup shortstop. And you cost us the division, you jackasses. By your play down the stretch here. Okay, that's what I was waiting for. So we made the playoffs. That's certainly important. I don't care that my secondary middle infielder is hurt. I'm not even going to take him off the roster because it's a waste of time. Who is pitching today? No. If the season comes down to one freaking game, it's Andy Maldonado and no one else. Also, notice how they still threw decent innings and they stayed healthier. And I have to thank the commenter who suggested putting the universal pitch count on because I really think that's helped. If we look at the game log this season, he went over 100 pitches once all season, which was here in this game. So, I really appreciate that. And it also let us spend more time on our bullpen, which has actually been pretty solid, although not perfect. Uribe, I'm going to demote you and push Solis as setup. I really don't want Williams on the roster because he's going to fuck up. Who else is playoff roster eligible? I would infinitesimally prefer Ramon Gonzalez to Williams. Or Williams, but yeah. He's just a better pitcher. And I trust him a whole hell of a lot more than I do Williams in a big thing here. We're going to change the rotation later on, but we have to win our play-in game first. And who are we playing? We're playing against Colorado. All right. I'm going to put him on the roster, but I'm probably not going to let him make the playoff roster. But we'll see what happens. I got to win this game first. If we don't win it, then the season just ends. God damn it. Really, game? Really? Freaking Maldonado. What the hell, man? How do you do that to me? How do you give up a bloody grand slam with 2 outs? You absolute jackass. I'm really salty about that. Like, this is the least clutch thing you could have possibly done. And the bullpen did great picking up your shit. Maldonado. I dislike you rather intensely right now, Maldonado. That was a wet fart of a freaking playoff appearance. But you know who I really blame? I blame the team as a whole. Because we had frickin' Cincinnati beat, and then we just crapped the bed the last 2 weeks of the season. I am not happy about us getting bounced out so unceremoniously. Because in the most important inning of the season, Maldonado thought it was okay to just cool off. Bro, I don't even know what to say to you. It's not cool is what it is. Man, and Houston just freaking wins again. Should have freaking rolled over Cincinnati. Just give me the damn... Nah. Meh. I'm very salty about how that season ended. There's no reason it should have ended that way. Other than you just being a jerk. Okay. So we need to talk about the big elephant in the room. Juan Soto is going to test free agency. I get Molly back. Woohoo. Fan loyalty has increased. My scouting director retired. I get a 1-year freaking contract. What the hell, dude? Like, come on. Really? So the good news is we have money to spend. The bad news is that's because we don't have Juan Soto anymore. And I bet he would cost a pretty penny to bring back. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, that's what I expected. Okay. We'll talk about all this stuff next episode. I don't really want to bother with it at the moment. Let's talk about how the season went. Because up until the very end of the season, this was one of our best seasons as a team. Offensively, look, Juan Soto was better. Did he earn his $44 million? He did not. Especially because he got hurt down the stretch. I wish him well wherever he ends up, but it's not going to be here. Gunnels was good. Just a tick below where he was last season. Mostly because he didn't hit as many doubles. But otherwise, quality. Cole Young was good. Jimenez was good. Will Simpson turned out to be a really positive contributor to the team. I'm pretty happy about that. There's obviously still more upside here to be had, but I like what I saw, and I think we should expect more next season. Noah Smith did cool off. It's whatever. Look, Zion Rose is going to hit us double-digit home runs and play pretty good defense. That's not worth like $20 million, but it's also not worthless. Caleb Dimutzio had a pretty solid season too. Yeah. Pitching-wise, Maldonado's having a great season until he crapped the bed. Willie Acevedo is redonkulous as a reliever. He's everything you could want in a bullpen guy. Aguilar, Nielsen, and Edwards were all okay. Male, not so much. Anderson had a decent season. And then we get to the back end of the pen, and it just wasn't as effective. Our decision to make sure that Nadolian only pitched against righties, I think, did pay off. We are going to need a new scout, though. And I think that's actually where we're going to end the episode, is making personnel decisions. And then we'll talk about what to do with our payroll next season, or next episode, rather. I need a new scouting director, but I also need a new AA pitching coach. Mr. Izquierdo, can I finally promote you? No. What is it about Altoona that you hate so much? Okay, fine. I like to promote from within, but if you don't want to get promoted, I can't force you. Okay, there we go. We got Yorman Bizardo is our new AA pitching coach. He's pretty solid at it. He's earned a promotion a long time ago. So, who is the best scouting director available? I like the looks of bringing John Mozeliak around. I'm just going to sort by scouting for majors, and then we'll see who the best choice is. Interesting. I like Lorenzo Mendoza a lot. Let's focus on scouting amateurs, though, and let's see if that changes our math at all. I keep coming back to John Mozeliak. I see no reason why he wouldn't be an outstanding scouting director for us. Like, he's great at everything. So, yeah. Welcome aboard, my friend. Alright. We got big decisions to make this offseason. I don't know how we replace Soto's bat. And I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about, was he a bust for us? Let me be clear. Juan Soto's 2028 put us on the map in a way that pretty much no other player could have. His 2029 was pretty disappointing, but he's bounced back nicely in 2030. He also missed a fair bit of time in 2 of those 3 seasons, and the season he was healthiest in was when he played the worst. So, all of this is to say, I'm really happy that he played for us, but it's time to move on. And the question as far as who is the new left fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates, that's going to be an interesting question, and I don't know what the answer to it is. It's a very interesting question. How did you do down the stretch? You didn't get into too many games, but that's fine. Arbitration is a fickle mistress, and it's going to cost us a bunch of money. I wish I could offer a qualifying offer to Juan Soto, but I can't because he'd already gotten one. I'm gonna quickly. Oh, really? I can't just right-click and offer minor league extensions anymore? Or is that just the game telling me that they're not going to take one? Oh, that's interesting. That's a change to the game. I really like it. I really like now that they will tell you up front if they'll take a minor league extension or not. That's awesome, dudes. That's fine. Okay. Oh, you know what it is? It's because they're on a major league deal. Yeah, I can't offer them a minor league deal. That's fine. Do I want to give Trey Fletcher a chance to be our left fielder? I mean, there's a lot of worse choices than him. He'd be a good outfielder, but he wouldn't be a top-notch hitter, and I'm hoping I can find a couple of interesting players there. So as a guy like John Santiso, I could give him a chance in left. At least he's got the elite power, if not the contact. I've got a bunch of interesting players that I think could compete for a left field job. It's just going to be a matter of who can actually win that particular job. So we're going to see what happens this offseason. I would be utterly shocked if we don't have a step back by losing him. By losing Soto. But I also feel better about our chances to replace him in a reasonable fashion than I would have even a couple of seasons ago. And I think one of the things we do this offseason... No, I don't want to give up John Nelson. I'm not ready to yet. He's still got so much potential that I don't want to give him away until I'm 1,000% convinced that Will Simpson is my first baseman of the forever. I find it interesting he was only worth 2 wins above replacement despite having a very good season. I bet it's because he didn't draw very many walks and struck out quite a bit. But you know what? I'm not going to complain at all. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I really disliked the way it ended, of course, but in terms of the rest of things, I think things went quite well. Next season, we're going to see what happens in the year after Soto. Because I'm not even going to kick the tires on bringing him back. I can't afford it. Not without sacrificing my payroll again. And I'm not convinced he was worth it. I'm not convinced that we got a good return on our investment. But we'll see what happens. Until next time, though, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.